station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are NC.
In his first game leading off, Melky Cabrera got on base 3 times. Batting second for the first time, Eric Hosmer had an RBI triple late in the game. Batting third in the new lineup, Billy Butler hit safely, and the new cleanup man, Alex Gordon, doubled and walked. The shakeup provided 11 hits and yet a 1-run loss. Game 3 with Arizona is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Mike Moustakas was one of the few Royals who did not move in the batting order last night, and he came up with 2 hits against Arizona. Moustakas and the Royals need a win tonight to avoid being swept. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White. And the most productive Royal last night was second baseman Chris Getz, who can come to the ballpark these days, Frank, and know he's going to be at second base.
And that's no greater feeling for when you're a player who's been playing sporadically, and all of a sudden you say, hey, you're the second baseman, and then you go home every night knowing that you're going to be that guy. And last night, he just showed you what he can do. He got 3 hits last night, used his speed on 2 of them, and he just goes up there just trying to serve the ball where it's pitched, and did an excellent job offensively last night.
And then added some drama to the 9th inning when he had 2 stolen bases.
Oh, the one at second base was kind of expected, but the one at third base kind of put my heart in my mouth. And I'm just glad he was safe right there and not make the third out at third base.
And when he's in there, the Royals know they're going to get solid defense.
And I think that's the one thing a second baseman brings to the team is that consistent play up the middle. Going up the middle, turning double plays, and just giving that pitcher that confidence that he can have the ball hit in your direction.
2 important dates on his calendar this year. May the 6th, Eric Hosmer was called up, so Mike Aviles and Wilson Betemit shifted over to third base. Getz was the primary second baseman. He got a spike in numbers. Then on June the 10th, Mike Aviles was sent to the minor leagues, so Getz became the everyday second baseman, and he's hit .333 since then with an on-base percentage of almost .350. Felipe Paulino has pitched well since coming over to the Royals. In fact, in the games he started, the Royals are 3-1, but he does not have a decision yet in a Royals uniform. We'll talk about the lineup he'll face when we come back. Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. So Arizona's won the first 2 games of this series. Let's take a look at their lineup against Felipe Paulino tonight.
Well, this lineup, Ryan, is led by Justin Upton with a 304 average. And also, when you look at Chris Young, that's the power and the RBI on this staff.
Diamondbacks' biggest stat last night was double plays. They turned 3. The Royals also turned a couple of double plays, and the best of the game was this one. Started by Eric Hosmer, then the tag of the bag, and a double play in the top of the 9th inning. Here's how the Royals are lined up defensively tonight, presented by Ram Trucks. And it's been a good year all season for the Royals on defense. But in particular, lately, the Royals have committed just 3 errors in their last 13 games. Billy Butler was 2 for 2 against Daniel Hudson last year when he was pitching for the White Sox. And in 2 starts against the Royals in his career, he's given up just 6 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings. It's the Royals and the Diamondbacks, and the first pitch is next. Warner Cable. Let's go out to left field and welcome in Joel Goldberg.
Ryan, thank you. Had a chance to talk with Matt Trainer today about Felipe Paulino, and I said, you've seen him enough now. What's the thing that impresses you the most? The one thing, and he said, it's Paulino's focus. He said, even when things can get a little bit rough or he gets in trouble, he keeps his stuff intact. He doesn't try to do more than he was doing before. Said he had that one inning in St. Louis where he pressed a little bit, but was able to get it back, get back on track. He said he's really impressed with the fact that he comes into the dugout, he communicates well, they sit down in between every single inning, and he says Felipe has a really good idea of what he wants to do against every hitter. Ryan, back upstairs to you.
All right, thank you, Joel. Going up against the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight, facing them for the 6th time in his career and his 3rd time this year. He's seen him twice pitching out of the bullpen when he was with Colorado. Ryan Roberts, Kelly Johnson, and Justin Upton in the top of the 1st inning. 2 balls and no strikes. In one of the two appearances against Arizona this year, Paulino took the loss, giving up a home run to Justin Upton.
I think one thing with Paulino you want to see is what he just did. He wants to get that fastball established, and sometimes he can fall in love with his off speed, but you got to be able to establish your fastball and get to your off speed, and that way they won't be able to eliminate the fastball and just look for your breaking ball.
Well, he got a ground ball, but it was well placed into center field. So Roberts gets his first hit of the series. 80 degrees. How about this weather during this 3-game series with Arizona? Hard to believe it's late June, and with this fall-like weather, game started at 7:09. Time and temp brought to you by the Parking Spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The Parking Spot at KCI. So Roberts at first. He has 9 stolen bases. And Kelly Johnson, who's been struggling at the plate, takes ball 1. 1 out of 8 in this series. And 5 for his last 43.
Now you can kind of see with Kelly Johnson how he gets himself in trouble. His swing is long. When you got a long swing, then you're probably more of a breaking ball hitter than a fastball hitter. And if you do get the fastball, you kind of late on it and make cut it out in the left center field. But just being able to catch it with the good fastball with a long swing is hard to do.
And he's going to see a good fastball tonight. And with Felipe Paulino, 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's take a look at the key report for Felipe Paulino. Now, on one hand, you look at his career numbers, 6 and 25, so 19 games below 500. Some of that is his fault, a 5.5 career ERA, but you need to digest these numbers. 38 career starts. He has gotten 2 runs or less of support in 23 of those 38 starts. And for a pitcher with that many starts, as Alex gets turned around and makes a nice play in left field, with that kind of run support, with that many starts, that's the worst for any pitcher since 1974.
Oh my goodness.
So some of it is his fault, some of it is not his fault. He deserves to have better than a 0-0 record since coming over to the Royals with a very low ERA. And even though he doesn't have a win, the Royals are 3-1 when Felipe Paulino has been a starter.
Well, I think getting deeper in games will help too, and that'll give him the offense a chance to score runs for him. But if he doesn't get past the 5th inning, then sometimes that can play with those numbers a little bit too.
Justin Upton came into this series as the National League Player of the Week. Got 2 hits on Tuesday, including a couple of doubles. 3 hits in the series, 1 RBI. 1 ball, no strikes.
He got a lot of power in the alleys, especially, and anything up across the plate. He likes the ball up. Got good power to right center, and left center field. That run's good for a big guy too.
Roberts runs, and the pitch hits Upton. That's nothing new for him. That is the 10th time he has been plunked this year. So Paulino in a little bit of trouble with 2 on and 1 out in the first inning.
Oh, when you take a look at this fastball, you see it's almost like a 2-seamer. You see how it comes out of his hand and just starts to run right in. So to me, if you want to throw the ball on the inner half of the plate, you go with the 4-seamer, and now the ball doesn't run in and hit the batter. You stay straight, and you can get some room in the inside corner with that pitch.
And as you could tell from that replay, he did everything humanly possible to get out of the way of that pitch.
Almost. That's when you say the ball was chasing me and I couldn't get out of the way. You know, at 96 miles an hour, I hope he's not sitting there saying hit me on purpose.
Well, he might have been able to tuck that elbow in a little more if he wanted to. No?
Let's just say I would.
Okay. Stephen Drew, 1 out of 7 in the series, so the Royals have pitched him well. And Paulino pitches him inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 97 with that fastball. I remember when we were in Oakland and we were talking about Jemile Weeks and his older brother Ricky, a pair of brothers who were both drafted in the first round. There have been 8, and it seems like we've seen all of them over the past week. Colby Rasmus and his brother Cody when the Royals were in the Cardinals series, and now there are 2 in this series. Stephen Drew, older brothers JD and Tim were drafted in the first round. How about that family? And Justin Upton and his older brother BJ were both drafted in the first round. Interesting thing about the Uptons, not only were they both drafted in the first round, but both got to the big leagues when they were 19 years old.
Oh boy.
So there's 4 out of the 8 combinations right there.
As a brother who gets there ahead of your other brother, and everybody says, well, you know, he's in the major leagues, but you all see his brother, you know. So I always wonder how the older brother feels when he hears that comment.
Hosmer dives. The only play is to first, and Paulino gets to the bag before Drew. So in the final inning of last night's game, Eric Hosmer made a nice play in the top of the 9th. And now he makes a nice play in the top of the 1st tonight.
Well, he's got great range here. He just knows when to dive. Great timing for that position over there at first base, and he knows to keep the ball up above the letters for Paulino, so he doesn't have to start looking for the base and looking down for the ball too. So Hosmer does a great job making a stop, and then he gets himself in good enough position to get this throw to Paulino covering first base.
So 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and now Paulino has to get past Chris Young. Even though the Royals have lost the first 2 games, you go up and down the top and middle of the Diamondbacks batting order, and for the most part the Royals have pitched these hitters well. This is one of the best offenses in the National League. Roberts, a leadoff man, including tonight, 1 for 8. Johnson 1 for 9. Upton has 3 hits. Drew is 1 for 8, and Young is 1 for 7. That 1 hit was a 2-run home run on Tuesday.
And the Royals out hit him again last night. It just, those double plays really hurt. And you leave 11 men on base, and you're 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and that's how you lose those close ball games. So you can look at Ned Yost's reshuffle lineup and say it worked from the standpoint of getting men on base. It just didn't have anybody that could get that big hit to get them in.
Royals actually out-hit the Diamondbacks 11-5, but lost 3-2. And now trying to avoid the sweep. Royals have only been swept at home twice this year. They were swept in a 2-game series by Cleveland, and then during the last homestand swept in a 4-game series by Minnesota. No balls and 2 strikes on Chris Young.
Yeah, Chris Young's a good fastball hitter. He likes the ball up out over the plate, and he's got quick hands.
On the ground and over the head of the runner Roberts at third base, still 0-2.
Well, that's why they say when you come down in foul territory, because the ball hits you, it's still a foul ball, but you can call it fair territory, then you're out.
That's where Trainer wanted it, hoping that Young would go after a high fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A single and a hit batter. And the Diamondbacks with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. And that is line to left field, a base hit. Roberts scores. Here comes Upton. The throw goes all the way to the plate. And now down to second baseman Chris Getz, who tags out Young. His single gives the Diamondbacks a 2-0 lead. His first inning, but Chris Young on a 1-2 pitch singled in 2 runs, so the Diamondbacks have the lead as the Royals come up with Melky Cabrera, Eric Hosmer, Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, who hits .367 during interleague play this year, Jeff Francoeur, Mike Moustakas, Matt Trainer, Alcides Escobar, and Chris Getz. And the Royals are going up against Daniel Hudson. Now these numbers are important in the Kia report, because Hudson goes 6 2/3 innings per start, over 100 pitches. The Diamondbacks have the most 100 pitch starts this year in the National League, and they are second only to Philadelphia as far as innings pitched per start. So they pitch deep, and Daniel Hudson is coming off the best start of his career, going up against the team that traded him away last year, gave up 1 run, 3 hits in his first career complete game. The one number that jumps out about this start, Frank, he threw 119 pitches. That's a career high, so we'll see how much fuel he has in the tank tonight.
Well, he's got a good run on his fastball. We saw that right away, and one thing that he did in this last start against the White Sox is he had great command of his changeup. He was throwing changeup on 3-2 counts and was very confident with it.
One and 2 on Melky. In his first game as a leadoff hitter, he got on base. That's the job of the leadoff man. 2 hits and a walk last night. Leads the Royals with 86 hits. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he's got that great arm angle for making that fastball run down and away from a left-hander, but you like to see him start that more in the middle of the plate and then let it run off rather than trying to throw to the corners.
Hit hard to the second baseman Johnson, but he's right there, and there's 1 away. Here are the Diamondbacks defensively tonight, presented by Ram Trucks. Diamondbacks without an error in the first 2 games of the series. Miguel Montero has been behind the plate for all 3 games, and he's back there tonight for 24-year-old Daniel Hudson. Down and in, ball 1 to Eric Hosmer. Got his first hit of the series last night late in the game, an RBI triple to make it a 1-run game. 7th inning against Micah Owings, tripling home Chris Getz, and then it was Hosmer at the plate in the bottom of the 9th and popping out to short to end the game. A play that has generated quite a bit of discussion as to whether Eric Hosmer should have or should not have swung at the first pitch from J.J. Putz.
I say swing. If you're a guy that's up there to break the game open, and that's your job, and you got to get that first pitch fastball and try to do something with it. He's got the ability to score a guy from first base with if he gets his pitch and drives it. Plus, he's been having a good night swinging the bat on the Well, we're going to take the maple bats and we're going to put them in the pile for the firewood this winter, because there's a lot of bats. Look at this bat. I mean, it just breaks right in half. It's a wonder he didn't fall down after that swing. I mean, it's just amazing how those bats are coming apart.
Ball one to Billy Butler. 2 hits, 2 walks in the first 2 games. 45 walks this year, among the league leaders in that category. So he is on pace to absolutely shatter his previous career high, which is 69 walks. He did that last year. Royals have seen Daniel Hudson twice before tonight, and Billy Butler 2 for 2 with a double against Hudson. Hudson traded last year from Chicago to the Diamondbacks on July the 31st. The White Sox getting Edwin Jackson. That is right on the line. Fair ball. And Butler is out. The Royals are down on 3 ground balls in the bottom of the first. Baseball is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By Panera Bread Catering. Order online at PaneraKansas.com. And by Chevy. See your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Two 0 Arizona on a Chris Young 2-run single. Now Miguel Montero moves Eric Young out of the first base coach's box. Eric Young Jr. right now plays for the Colorado Rockies. We'll see him during the next road trip when the Royals go to San Diego, Colorado, and Chicago. Very high to right field and deep. Francoeur to the track, climbing the fence, but it's in the Royals bullpen. And Miguel Montero has hit his 9th home run of the year.
He picked on a breaking ball there, Ryan, and just stayed up in the zone, and he just got good turn on it and got it up in the air there. He just got good extension on it, stayed up, and he knew right away that he got all of that one. Francoeur makes a great effort, but this is too far into the bullpen to be caught.
trying to get used to the new configuration. I said into the Royals bullpen. That is the Diamondbacks bullpen.
I do the same thing all the time.
I don't know how many times I've come out onto the field and I'm looking for either Bob McClure or Steve Foster or a pitcher that I want to talk to. I look to the wrong bullpen. I'm used to the Royals being out in right field. Willie Mopena with a single to left. Well, the Diamondbacks have 4 hits in an inning plus against Felipe Paulino. And by the way, that home run from Montero is the first home run allowed by Paulino since joining the Royals, and that's in over 28 innings. And now Juan Miranda. He started the game on Tuesday and had 2 hits, a double and a run scored, and for him that put an end to an 0 for 14. Down and away, ball 1.
You know, those hitting streaks, they just come in bunches. You know, you say 0 for 14, it sounds like a lot, but it's only a couple of games, like 3 games, and 3 or 4 games, and you just wonder if the hit's ever going to come, and then you get that one, and all of a sudden you're back on track again. So that's what the season's all about. Is that it's just a season of swings, up and down. You just want more highs than lows.
Good life on that fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. With the Montero home run, the Diamondbacks have now hit 3 home runs in this series. They have hit the 2nd most home runs in the National League. Milwaukee Brewers have hit more home runs than Arizona.
They've got a great ballpark for home runs. Man.
One and 2. A couple of years ago, Juan Miranda got his first Major League RBI against the Royals. And it's an RBI he'll never forget. A walk-off base hit against the Royals at Yankee Stadium. Traded to the Diamondbacks during this past offseason. Two and 2. Felipe Paulino gave up a single and he hit a batter in the first. And with 2 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Chris Young. Young hit a 2-run single to left field.
Yeah, and I think that was on a hanging breaking ball also. The breaking ball works well when you can get it to go down and create a ground ball with it. But when you leave it up, now you're talking line drives and you're talking balls going to go out there near that wall.
That pitch just disappeared on Miranda. Paulino strikes out his first, 1 down in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, that's a breaking ball. Yeah, that's what you want your breaking ball to do, especially when you're going for a strikeout. You want to be able to get it right where the catcher wants it. The ball just drops straight down, turns over. Outstanding pitch.
He throws a knuckle
curveball.
curveball.
Knuckle curveball. I was going to say the same thing. That finger sticking up there.
So Gerardo Parra, 1 out of 4 in game 1 with a couple of RBIs, and then appeared late last night as a defensive replacement. And he grounds it right to Escobar, who was screened by the second base umpire Wally Bell. It starts a 6-3 inning-ending double play. first inning. And he's been one of the surprise teams in all of baseball this year. Here's our Sprint You Call It question. Who is the biggest surprise in baseball? Is it Arizona, coming off back-to-back last place finishes, Cleveland in our division, the Pirates under Clint Hurdle, or the Washington Nationals, who made news today when they went above 500 after a walk-off victory? Jim Riggleman resigned as manager. Text 432-432, enter keyword Royals, followed by a space, A for Arizona, B for Cleveland, C for Pittsburgh, D for Washington. No balls and 2 strikes on Alex.
And we find it really hard to walk away from a manager's job, a job that you've coveted for a while, and you got your team going the right way. You're playing over 500, and to resign just out of the blue. I mean, that's something you don't see very often in Major League Baseball.
It's a curious move, in my opinion, and Jim Riggleman is a well-respected man in the game, but whether they wanted him back next year now or not, I mean, why wouldn't you just play out the string? I mean, if the Nationals have a good year and he turns them into a winner, I would think there'd be a lot of teams knocking on his door. Or if they turn into a winner, maybe the players start campaigning for him, the fans start campaigning for him, and he ends up getting better than a 1-year extension. Alex now has a 10-game hitting streak. So he was down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the leadoff man is on in the 2nd inning.
Alex does a good job getting the pitch up out over the plate and just uses his hands on this point here. Didn't get a lot of body into it. The ball's moving away from him. So he just extended his arms and brought it back and hit a line drive over second base. But you can just look at his swing this year. You can just see how much his body stays back this year than last year. He would go forward a little bit, dip his shoulders a lot more. The ball's inside with jamming, but he's doing a good job on both sides of the plate with the bat. You know, but when I say that, I mean balls on the outer half, he goes out there and hit them that way, and balls inner half, he's quick enough to get to that ball this year.
So 2 straight games now where he bats 4th. He ends up leading off an inning in his first plate appearance, and both times he gets on.
Well, he said basically he's not as patient in the number 4 spot as he was in the number 1 spot. So he says he's swinging a few more pitches a little bit earlier in the count.
Jeff Francoeur hitless in this series. He does have a couple of walks. Just 4 hits in his last 38 at bats. So he settles into the box tonight with his average down to 257. Popped up into shallow right center. And Kelly Johnson, his former teammate with the Braves, brings it down. 1 on, 1 out. Coming up tomorrow, Kansas City's hometown celebrities Paul Rudd, Rob Riggle, and Jason Sudeikis will return to Kauffman Stadium. Royals take on the Cubs. Those comedians, along with George Brett and other Royals alumni, will play in the first annual Big Slick Celebrity Wiffle Ball game. That's at 5:30. Gates will open at 5. The game, the Royals and the Cubs, is at 7:10. Bruce Chen, coming back from the disabled list, will go up against the Cubs right-hander Ryan Dempster. Mike Moustakas with a 2-hit game last night, getting his batting average up to 250. 1-1.
Well, you look at Hudson's fastball had run away from Moustakas, and that was more of a pull swing there. He's got to track it and try to take it to left center field. If that swing and the ball moving the way it is, he'd end up with a ground ball to second base. He'd roll over the top of it.
And he goes the other way rather than roll it over. Gordon to second base and stopping. 2 on and 1 out.
And that was a really nice adjustment that Moose made. He saw the first pitch and realized that wasn't going to work, and he saw the way the ball was moving away. He stays right down on top of it, takes it the other way. Nice adjustment. And we get a better look at it there. And when you make those kind of adjustments, that means that you take one swing, you realize that this is not going to work, and you look for the same pitch, you do something different with it, get a base hit. So nice adjustment.
And now Matt Trainer to the music of Led Zeppelin, digging in with 2 on and 1 out. I like some of our guys' style. Remember last night we were talking about Mike Moustakas going up to the plate with some Jimi Hendrix. Matt Trainer, Led Zeppelin. Now that's some music, Frank.
I agree.
You're a big Led Zeppelin guy, aren't you?
That was big Jimmy. That was big Jimi Hendrix guy.
Yeah. We were joking with Mike Moustakas before the game tonight and saying, man, you're too young to be listening to Jimi Hendrix. He said, no way, man. He's got music from many eras on his iPod. That ball goes into right field. It got away from Miranda. Here comes Alex around third base. The throw will be cut off, and Moustakas will go to third.
When you do a back pick from a catcher, you got to keep the ball down the line. This ball goes behind Moustakas, and Miranda couldn't get his glove out there to take that, keep that throw on the right field. You see Alex scores, and Moustakas goes all the way to third base.
So Montero is hit with the air, but I have a question for you, Frank. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Trainer, and I'm just going to ask you this based on some of the things you said. But Miranda looked like he went down to a knee, and that really limited his ability to reach for that ball. Did he go down to a knee too soon?
He probably did, because he thought he was going to be a throw right to him. He could be down there and try to make a quick tag. But when Moustakas came back in standing up, and then he went to reach around him, he just couldn't get that right arm around him, and the ball goes behind. So you watch the throw here. Montero comes out, but the throw's got to be down the line to the base, but he threw it a couple feet inside. So he was anticipating a throw to the bag. And like I say, when you get throws from players, you got to anticipate the worst throw. So he was at bad body position to try to make the adjustment to that throw.
You know, that's what I was thinking when I watched the replay, that it wasn't a perfect throw. And Montero, I guess, rightly deserves the air. You're not going to give it to Miranda, but I've heard you say so many times about how, you know, whether it's a first baseman at first base going into a stretch too soon, or a second baseman realizing there's no double play, you're just going to have to get one out, that you have to get into a position to save the ball.
Well, that's true. And you at that replay, look at that replay again, Ryan. When you anticipate your catcher throwing, you have to be on the infield side of first base. He never got to the base. You know, the throw beat him getting to the base. You can't let that happen either.
That's Escobar's first hit of the series. He drives in a run, and the Royals have 2 in the second inning to make it a 1-run game.
I mean, I thought last night, you know, his swing was starting to get a little bit long last night. That, you know, he was reaching for this ball here, Ryan, but he does keep it up the middle and gets himself a base hit and an RBI. So not really an aggressive swing, but a well-placed swing.
So 2 runs home, and now a chance for a big inning. And Chris Getz at the plate. He had 3 hits last night, facing his former teammate with the White Sox. Daniel Hudson, a 5th-round pick of Chicago in 05 out of Old Dominion in Virginia, the same school that produced Justin Verlander. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Getz has hit in 6 in a row. He is 4 out of 8 against the Diamondbacks. Also has a couple of stolen bases in this series.
Right, I talked to Chris before the game during batting practice. I asked him, what has been the biggest change since you started playing every day? And we talked a little bit about it in the open, about just knowing that you're going to be playing every day. And he said the way he was being used you know, when Michael Vilas was here, he didn't really know when he was going to play. And so the pressure was always on to have a good game that night. So there was additional pressure to play well, because you know that if you had a good game, you're going to be back in there the next day. If you didn't have a good game, you wouldn't.
Gets. And the ball is caught in center field. Matt Trainer was convinced it was going to drop, so it's an easy double play for Arizona, and that's how they get out of the second inning. However, the Royals get 2 to make it a one-run game. Arizona has scored in its first 2 at-bats tonight. Royals just got 2 in the bottom of the second inning, so Felipe Paulino, who was down by 3, now down by 1. And he'll get the top of the order again with Ryan Roberts, Kelly Johnson, and Justin Upton. Arizona got 2 in the first on a 2-run, 2-out single from Chris Young, and then a solo home run from Miguel Montero in the second. Roberts opened the game with a base hit to center. And now a base hit to right field. So he had been 0 for 7 in the series, and he is 2 for 2 tonight. Well, Royals fans, be sure to check out FoxSportsKansasCity.com for all your Royals news. Columnist Steve Cameron explains the puzzle of putting together a starting rotation. Jeffrey Flanagan reports on how the Royals minor leaguers are doing. And Greg Eklund talks to Billy Butler about his shot at making the All-Star team. So stay in touch with the Royals at FoxSportsKansasCity.com. Kelly Johnson is flied to left. Just 1 out of 9 in this series, and Paulino throws strike 1. Batting at .211 because over a longer stretch he is 5 out of 44. One and one. Diamondbacks know that San Francisco won today. So after losing 5 in a row, the Giants have now won back-to-back games. They beat Minnesota earlier today. Tim Lincecum over Brian Dunsing. So the Diamondbacks in a first-place tie at the moment with the Giants in the West.
That division seems to always go down to the wire the last 2 weeks of the season.
There's a base hit to right field for Kelly Johnson. Roberts thought about testing Francoeur and then slams on the brakes, and the ball gets past a couple of Royals, backed up by Mike Moustakas. So Arizona has runners at first and second with nobody out.
Well, Kelly Johnson got that long swing, Ryan, and you throw him anything other than a fastball, and he's got a chance to get the hit of the bat out. And this pitch here was a good pitch for him to pull, 87 miles an hour. So he's one of those guys that you got to kind of use your good fastball and make him fly out the opposite way.
And guys with long swings, you want to pitch them up, right? I mean, those are normally low ball hitters.
Up and out over the plate, and make it hard for them to get the ball, so they sky a lot of balls and hit lazy fly balls the opposite way. But with a runner on first, you really don't want to get that hole over there. You don't want to slow the ball down and give him something to pull.
So 2 on for Justin Upton, who was plunked in the first inning, and now he lines it to center field, and Melky is there. The Diamondbacks have to hustle back to the bases. Melky goes to third, but Roberts was about a third of the way to third base, and Kelly Johnson almost went all the way to second base.
Well, they reacted to the ball off the bat, and they did that secondary lead, and then he never did turn around and see this ball right away. He took a couple steps toward third, so he didn't have a chance to go back and tag, so the ball's already on his way to third when he gets back to the base. Now, the guy at first base can go as far as he wants in that situation.
And that brings up Stephen Drew, who grounded out in the first inning. Escobar out of position. He thought there was a pickoff play on. He went to second base, and Paulino went to the plate.
Well, this is one of the situations. If you're going to do a pickoff play, you got to go early. You got to make sure that he sees you. You go early, and then if you get there, just yell "step off," because you don't ever want to pitch with your guy. See how late he went? You got to go a lot earlier than that. A lot of it just getting used to your pitcher too. Does he take one look? Does he take 2 looks? And then if he takes 2 looks, you can wait and go that late. But if he's a one looker, then you got to go early. And I mean, sometimes I would go early and just stand there and just say, "Hey, I'm here." Then he steps off. You go back to second base. So you just want to make the base runner know that you know he's out there. But you don't never want that pitcher made while you're breaking to the base.
Blocked by Trainer. Roberts going to third, and he got a good jump. Trainer jumped on that quickly and made a strong throw down to third base, but Roberts is safe, and behind him Kelly Johnson, both moving up on a wild pitch.
And that's really good base running by Roberts right here. As soon as his ball's in the dirt, I mean, he's off and running. There was no hesitation at all, and the ball even went toward third, which makes it easier for Trainer to make the throw, but he got a great jump off second base.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stephen Drew in his first 5 major league seasons, a .272 hitter, and at the moment batting .273. So he has been steady and consistent for the Diamondbacks. Taken in the first round of 2004 out of Florida State, just like his older brother JD. And that is belted to deep right field. Back goes Francoeur, and it is off the bottom of the screen. The Diamondbacks will get 1 run out of that. So it's 4-2, and Stephen Drew is standing at second base trying to figure out how he only got 1 RBI.
Well, definitely the base running mistake by Johnson at second base. He went back to tag, but you got to kind of hang in there and be going back toward the bag. But you got to, at some point, you got to know that the right fielder has no chance to make this play. But you go back to second base and tag and wait for the ball to hit the wall. And Francoeur did a great job getting this ball on 1 hop, and that's what kept him from scoring. But you got to have a better read off second base than that,
because he could be 4 or 5 steps off of second base And if the ball's caught, he still has time to go back to second and tag.
That deep, yes.
So it's a bit strange when the batter runner advances 2 bases and one of the base runners only advances 1 base.
I'm sure Drew's going to say, hey, what happened? You got to score on that ball.
That's another hit allowed by Paulino tonight that has produced a run where he was ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And now Nate Adcock warms up in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, one thing you point at too, Brian, all the base hits have been on off-speed pitches, not something other than his best pitch, which is his fastball.
So 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, infield in halfway. Chris Young goes after a pitch in on his hands. He is already driven in 2. Single to left in the 1st inning, driving in Roberts and Upton. He's made the most of his hits. He has 2 hits in the 3-game series, driving in 4 runs. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's Felipe Paulino's last 3 starts. 1 earned run in 6 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs in 5 innings, 4 earned runs in 6 innings, and now he's given up 4 runs in less than 3 innings today. So after joining the Royals, he was almost unhittable in his first 3 appearances, and now maybe the league paying attention to what he's doing a little more, making an adjustment, that back and forth adjustment, pitcher and the hitters he's facing. And now he's had a tough time, at least in his last 2 starts.
Well, it all goes back to the fastball. If you have fastball command on both sides of the plate, you're usually going to do a pretty good job because your secondary pitchers will play better. But when he gets ahead, he goes to the breaking ball and they sit there waiting on it if you don't make a good pitch.
Melky with a strong arm gets behind it. Johnson is going to come to the plate, and Trainer grabs it on the fly and tags him out. So after all that, Arizona gets 1. Continues to maintain an upbeat attitude that serves as a daily inspiration for his family and friends. And tonight he watches the game from the Buck O'Neil legacy seat with 4 young ladies, which I assume would be his 4 daughters. So Melky Cabrera leads off. Throwing out another runner at the plate for the final out of the top of the third inning.
Well, he does a good job getting behind this, and he just heaves this one in. And this goes all the way in the air to Matt Trainer. I mean, Johnson's well out at the plate there. He's got to feel pretty weird that inning. First, not scoring on the ball against the wall, and then being thrown out trying to score on a sac fly to center fielder Malcolm Cabrera.
Johnson touching home plate in the third. It was just not meant to be. 2 balls and 1 strike on Melky.
Now you can see Trainer does a good job getting that left foot in there, and he just does a great job just catching this ball in midair and then making this tag.
2-2 on Melky. Out on a ground ball to second base in the first inning.
Now, I talked to a lot of catchers, Ryan, and they said they'd rather have a ball take one long bounce than to try to catch it in the air and make a tag.
Because on the fly, the ball is going to be going down, so they're going to be having to reach down and then maybe reach up with the tag. But on one bounce, if it's a nice long bounce, that ball's coming back up.
It's going to be about letter high, shoulder high, and they have a chance to catch and tag and get themselves ready for a collision if necessary.
Melky grounds out for the second time tonight. And now Eric Hosmer also grounded out his first time up. Inside, ball 1. Very high to center field. And Chris Young standing in the sunlight makes the catch. There are 2 down. Daniel Hudson lost his first 4 starts, and his ERA was almost 6 after those 4 starts. But now he's won 8 of his last 9. He has won his last 5 decisions. So this is a pitcher on a roll. He allowed 2 runs to the Royals in the second inning. One of the runs was unearned. Ball 1 to Billy Butler, out on a ground ball to third in the first inning. Daniel Hudson going for his 9th win tonight. That would be a new career high. And he would do that before the All-Star break. This has been a great trade for the Arizona Diamondbacks. You talk about 2 great trades. Back-to-back starters the last 2 nights. Ian Kennedy and Daniel Hudson. Hudson is 15-6 since coming over from Chicago. Billy goes the other way and singles with 2 outs.
You know, Billy, just like Mike Moustakas, made a really a good change after swinging at that first pitch. He had that pitch away from him, rolled over, and hit him in the shin guard, and then he comes back and says, "Hey, I better go the other way with this pitch." And he does a good job making this adjustment and making this a line drive to right field. So Billy is what I would probably classify as a professional hitter.
Change up. Alex out in front, 0-1. Alex has a 10-game hitting streak after his single leading off the second inning. Came around to score on a throwing error by the catcher Montero. Alex just missed hitting for the cycle on Tuesday night. He got all the difficult hits out of the way, a home run, a double, then a triple. He lined out in his 4th at bat and was standing on deck when the game ended on Tuesday, so didn't get a chance to complete the cycle. I asked him if he had ever hit for the cycle before, and he said after his freshman year at Nebraska he was playing on a summer team and they were at Beatrice, and he said there was nobody there. He got his first 3 hits, then he got a triple in his last at bat, and somebody said, "Hey, You just hit for the cycle.
What did he tell you? He says, well, if I'd have gotten that bat, I probably would have hit it off the wall and stopped at first base.
Yeah, that's right. Which has been done before.
And that was your comment.
Yeah, that's right. That wouldn't be the first time somebody could have had a double or maybe a triple and decided to hold back one base to complete the cycle.
I want to get in the record book.
Off the knuckles, and Roberts runs into foul ground, and that's the end of the inning. So at the end of 3, it's 4-2 Arizona. And we'll look at tonight's Time Warner Cable wideband internet pitch speeds. 96 for Daniel Hudson, 99 for Felipe Paulino, or something like that.
Use that.
You know what I meant.
Use that 99. Yeah, I hear what you're trying to say.
Yeah, thank you. Trying to say is the key part.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
That's right.
I've been there.
Hosmer comes way off the bag, and plenty of time to get it to Paulino. So Miguel Montero is out. He hit a home run back in the second inning. Join us for a unique dining experience at Kauffman Stadium. The 390 Bar and Grill features a private bar, 65-inch high-definition TVs throughout the restaurant, a climate-controlled environment. It is open to the public, located on the third base side of the Loge level next to section 301. Willie Mopena going for it all. Where would that pitch have gone? Paulino was providing a lot of the power there at 96 miles an hour.
You know, we were watching him take batting practice today, and to our amazement, he amazed us.
Wow. Well, I'd read some comments after he hit the impressive home run on Tuesday, his first home run in the big league since '08. And he realizes now that it takes more than home runs, and he's trying to be a higher average hitter. And as we were watching those home runs, Frank, they truly looked like line drives that just carried out of the ballpark. He wasn't trying to uppercut and intentionally hit home runs.
Right.
That is a swing, and it's a strikeout, 2 down. Two strikeouts for Paulino, trying to turn in his first scoreless inning tonight. He also struck out Juan Miranda back in the second inning. Very late on the fastball, 0-1.
When we see that, what does that tell you when you throw a fastball by a hitter? You just come back and do it again until he tells you need to make a change. Just stay right there.
And that fastball is ripped to right field. Back goes Francoeur. I like your thinking, Frank.
Hey, he missed the spot.
But Juan Miranda hits his 7th home run of the season. And now that's 4 straight innings where the Diamondbacks have scored. It is 5-2.
The pitch before was up around his hand and he was able to beat him, but you see this ball's supposed to be down to the outer half of home plate, and you see where this pitch ends up. Right in the middle of the plate. So that pitch there will get hit.
Paulino had not allowed a single home run in his first 28 innings with the Royals, and now 2 in the last 3 innings. A little bit outside, and it's 1-1 on Parra. So Montero and Miranda homering tonight for Arizona. There's a good hard slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Parra grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. Two and 2. Milwaukee does not play today. They're off. And with 2 home runs, now Arizona has tied the Brewers with 86 home runs to lead the National League. Left field and deep into the corner. Alex runs it down on the warning track. Another run for Arizona. They lead 5-2. So the Royals are down by 3 for the 2nd time tonight. Jeff Francoeur will lead off. And we remind you to look for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in tonight's game. Francoeur would like to be a part of that. He is hitless in this series. 0 for 7. Going back to the St. Louis series, 0 for his last 8. Mike Moustakas and Matt Trainer will follow. That is a swing. Scott Berry, the first base umpire. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Jeff has been he's battling a long swing right now, Ryan. Just trying to figure out how to get that swing shorter right now. It wraps a little bit around the helmet, just a little bit too much, and you got it.
And there's a base hit. Got it past the diving Roberts. Francoeur begins the fourth inning with a double.
Well, that's going to make him feel a lot better than what he's been doing. He probably figured they couldn't get to the inside pitch, but this ball was down, and it makes it easy for him to get to it. And see how short and quick that swing was, and that's what he's trying. That's what he's trying to get to. He's just trying to keep from wrapping that bat too far behind the head, but that's still quite a ways back there. But he was able to bring it straight down, and because the ball was down and did survive on that one. But not one of his better swings, but that's a start for him.
And now Moustakas pops it up. Drew is out from short. So Moustakas is 1 for 2. This July, baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 Major League All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 7 p.m. only on Fox. So Francoeur at second, and Matt Trainer walked again. So his on base percentage stays above 350, even though his batting average is 210. One of these days I'll get over that. But not quite yet. One ball, one strike. I think after wondering about this for a couple of weeks, it's time for us to do some research. What is the best what is the best on base percentage compared to lowest batting average in the American League? I gotta think Trainer's right there. Francoeur gonna try and score on the base hit to center field. Young will play it conservatively in a 3-run game. It is now a 2-run game. Trainer puts an end to an 0 for 9. And it is 5-3, Arizona leading.
He does a good job just going back through the middle. Ball's down. After swinging through a pitch up, he gets a pitch down to his liking. And right back through the middle. Francoeur gets a great jump off second base. And he scores easily on this base hit.
So Trainer on base twice. That is his 13th RBI. And now it's Alcides Escobar. He drove in a run with a single in the second inning. That was a base hit to center field for Escobar, but lately he has also been getting his share of infield hits, which you figure at this stage of his career with his speed, you want him to keep the ball on the ground. And in our league leaders tonight, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers, Escobar 4th in the American League in infield hits with Chris Getz behind him. And he was trying to bunt for a base hit right there, but fouled it away.
No, normally you don't see Matt Trainer just do a straight steal and a bunt behind that. So maybe there's a miss hit and run sign there somewhere in that picture.
Well, Escobar be with the right guy with the way he's been hitting the ball the other way lately.
I mean, these are just tailor-made situations for the bottom of the order. When you get Trainer, Escobar, and Getz, or Pena, Escobar, and Getz, those are the guys in your order that you can really do some things with and be a little more creative in doing that manufacturing run thing early, late in your lineup. And I think these guys are just perfect for it right now. Contact guys with good speed, and guys that really can look for that situation.
And there's a ground ball. This is the second time, only the second time in 264 at bats that Escobar has grounded into a double play. Paulino tonight is looking for his first scoreless inning.
Well, that'd be nice to see right now, especially since Rosa come back with another run and get him a little bit closer. So just see some momentum, get through another couple of innings, give the offense a chance to get going.
Arizona with 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth. Paulino has given up 2 home runs, the first 2 since joining the Royals. And it's the 3rd time through the batting order. So Ryan Roberts has truly been a leadoff hitter tonight, leading off all 3 times he comes to the plate. And in his first 2 at-bats, he singled and scored. We were talking about that tattoo last night, remember? On the left side of his neck. Got a chance to visit with Ryan Roberts earlier today. Nice guy. And I asked him how many tattoos he has, and he had no idea. But the one on his neck, which he said hurt, there's a shocker. But that is the Japanese symbol for family.
Wow.
Left center field, but Alex with a good jump makes the catch, and Roberts is out for the first time tonight. 2012 Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp is coming up January 30th through February 3rd in Surprise, Arizona. You will play with 18 Royals alumni, including George Brett, Frank White, Jeff Montgomery, Willie Wilson, and many others. You'll take part in daily practice sessions. You'll play against the former Royals. You'll have your own uniform, your own locker, and much more. John Wathan will be there. Duke's daughter Dina is the one largely responsible for organizing Alumni Fantasy Camp. And right now Duke is wondering why we're putting him on TV. He's probably thinking to himself, are they talking about guys who run well as a catcher?
Most times. Then we lock the door. So.
A moonshot to right field, and Jeff Francoeur brings it down. Kelly Johnson is 1 for 3. 2 outs, and we go to Joe Goldberg.
Justin Upton coming to the plate, had a chance to talk with Billy Butler about him, and they got to know each other a little bit all the way back in 2002. It was the World Wood Bats Tournament down in Florida. Some of the best players in the country playing in this one, trying out for Team USA. Guys with names we know like Chris Lubanski, others like Gio Gonzalez and Jared Saltalamacchia, Andrew McCutcheon, Ian Kennedy, Daniel Bard. Justin Upton and Billy Butler were 2 of the youngest players there, as Justin even younger than Billy Butler. And I asked Billy what he thought about Justin back then. He said just as good as he is now. These were kids that were only 15 and 16 years old at that point, trying out for an 18 and under Team USA team. A lot of talent there back in Florida, guys.
All right, Joel, and then at the age of 19, Justin Upton was in the big leagues with the Diamondbacks. First overall pick in 05, and right after him, the Royals took Alex Gordon. So the top 2 players from that draft are here tonight, both playing in the outfield. Upton is from the Virginia Beach area, and he played with and against Daniel Hudson, who pitches for the Diamondbacks tonight. They've been competing with and against one another since they were 8 years old.
Wow.
Ryan Zimmerman from that area. B.J. Upton, obviously. Michael Kadire. That's just a fraction of the list. You think about Texas and Florida and California as the real hotbeds, Arizona for professional baseball players, mostly because of the weather. But the list of players from the Virginia Beach area would surprise you. 3-2.
I had a chance to see BJ when he was in high school. Went down and watched him play a couple games, but then I talked to his dad, and he says, "Well, BJ's a good player, but you always see his younger brother." And you hear that a lot. and he's much more developed. Where in the Weeks family, Ricky's got all the signs.
Best inning so far for Paulino. Tonight's AT&T trivia question: who are the 5 current managers that played for World Series winners? One of them is in the house. Always a good place to start. 2 balls and no strikes on Chris Getz. Kirk Gibson's played for a couple. The Tigers in '84, the Dodgers in '88. I think I've got him. I cheated. I used the standings just to go through every team. Slap to left center field. Parra closes in on it quickly, and Chris Getz is 0 for 2.
Now take a look at Chris Getz' swing right here, Ryan. I mean, and look at that swing right there. I mean, he's just not trying to do anything but get a base hit. You know, it kind of reminds you of Etro on a way. He's just not trying to come out of his swing. Just this is the area he wants to hit the ball in. He wants to hit more line drives and more ground balls through there. But he just basically say, you throw it away, I'm just going to slap it out there and just try to give me a base hit.
Melky Cabrera has grounded out twice. So how's your list coming? 0-2. I'll let you start. What do you have on your list?
I've got Kirk Gibson.
Check.
Joe Girardi.
Check.
Ozzie Guillen.
I don't think he played for one.
Oh, he coached. I'm sorry. I missed that one.
Coached and managed one.
Don Mattingly.
It's wrong. I don't think he played on a. Yankees didn't win between 78 and 96, I believe.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying anymore.
No, go ahead.
And in my last 2.
How about this one? You got the right team with Mattingly. Oh, you already said Joe Girardi, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, would be Bud Black.
One of your teammates.
And then the one I had one question mark there, I had Dusty Baker.
Dusty Baker. And there's one more.
One more.
Think about the last road trip.
Mike Scioscia.
Mike Scioscia. We have a winner. Joe Girardi, Mike Scioscia, Dusty Baker, Kirk Gibson, Bud Black.
You say, Don Mattingly, where were you?
Melky has grounded out 3 times tonight, and 2 outs for Daniel Hudson in the 5th inning. Chicago Cubs are in town for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night, and Bruce Chen comes back from the disabled list. Ryan Dempster will pitch for the Cubs. Hy-Vee Royals live with Joel and Monty at 6:30, and the first pitch is at 7:10. Eric Hosmer is grounded out and flied out to center field. Saturday in Game 2 before the game, you want to come out early as Kevin Appier will be inducted into the Royals Hall of Fame.
That'll be a great time for Ape, coming back and going into the Hall of Fame. Get to see a lot of the guys he played with and seeing some of the other guys in the Hall of Fame. So it should be a real exciting evening for him.
Hosmer was tempted. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeff Montgomery will be part of the induction ceremony. He will be giving a speech to honor Kevin Appier before he is officially inducted. Went after that high fastball, still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, over time you should see Eric Hosmer stop swinging at that pitch, and he's so aggressive, and that a high fastball, it looks good, but it's not good. Just like chocolate mousse I told you about. It looks good, but it's not good for you.
And lays off a very close pitch, so after pitching him up and then in, trying to go down and away, thinking Hosmer would reach for it, and the count has gone from 0-2 to 3-2. And belted to right field. That is foul, but it's going to go through one of those blue seats. You can't hit it any harder than that. You're talking about getting on top of a pitch. The foul pole was ducking out of the way.
Well, not only got through it too. I mean, this ball here. I mean, when he hits this, he got to stop and watch this one himself, and he knows right away it's not going to go fair. But I tell you, just to show that he can reach that pitch means a lot.
And he strikes out on a fastball away. 5-3 Arizona. Inning, Chris Young with a 2-run single, and then Miguel Montero in the 2nd inning homered against Felipe Paulino. Royals got 2 runs in the 2nd inning, the first on a throwing error by Montero. Then Alcides Escobar drove in a run that made it 3-2. Arizona got an RBI double from Stephen Drew in the 3rd. They got a home run from Juan Miranda in the 4th, and then Matt Traynor drove in a run in the 4th inning. So we've had 10 half innings tonight, and in 6 of those 10 somebody has scored, but no big innings. So just 5-3 with the Diamondbacks coming up here in the 6th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike on Stephen Drew. With runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd inning, he doubled off the bottom of the fence in right center field, and only 1 run scored. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He has also grounded out to first and lost a hit on a diving play at first base by Eric Hosmer. Paulino has given up 5 runs, 8 hits, but he really hasn't had a long inning unless you consider 18 pitches a long inning. So as far as pitch count goes, he's in good shape. Coming off of his best inning, got the Diamondbacks in order with a strikeout in the 5th. And now he strikes out Drew to begin the 6th. And Paulino has 4 strikeouts. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Frank White, Joel Goldberg, our producer Kevin Shank, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is T.J. McGinnis. So Chris Young with a 2-run single in the 1st. He has driven in 4 in the series and then flied into a double play in the 3rd, with Kelly Johnson being thrown out at the plate by Melky Cabrera.
Looks like Paulino's pitching a lot more aggressively this inning with his fastball, and his breaking ball is breaking a lot sharper than it had in the past.
Back-to-back strikeouts, so that's 5. Put him away with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He's gotten up to 99 tonight.
Well, he just goes right after him, and his fastball looks a lot crisper this inning, and even his breaking ball looks a lot sharper this inning.
In his start on Friday at St. Louis, he had some control problems, something he has not had since joining the Royals. There's a strike to Miguel Montero, and in particular 1 inning. In fact, the only inning the Cardinals scored against him, he gave up 4 runs on 2 hits. That's because he walked 3 and hit 2, and then finished with 3 scoreless innings. So no problems, no major problems with his control tonight. He did hit a batter in the 1st inning, Justin Upton, and he came around to score. One ball, 2 strikes on Montero. He homered to right field in the 2nd inning. He is 1 for 2 tonight.
That was a good breaking ball there, and he kept it down and had a lot of depth to it, and you could get a strikeout with that pitch. But that one stayed up just a little bit.
And it's lined to Melky Cabrera. Still, Paulino has retired the last 7.
Well, the Royals are trailing by 2 as they go to our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Becky Stanley from Kansas City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Becky will win $2,900. But if the Royals hit a a grand slam out of the park, Becky will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Ron, I think this is the night we need our 4th winner tonight.
All right. Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, Jeff Francoeur. If anybody gets on, Mike Moustakas. Now, Daniel Hudson has given up 5 home runs. 5 home runs in 106 innings.
What are the odds?
Backhanded by Roberts. Low throw, and Miranda can't dig it out. So it'll be an error on Ryan Roberts, and the 2nd error tonight for Arizona.
Now that's one play you really hope your first baseman can help you with. This is really deep third base. And this is one of those balls there you just hope that you can pick it out of the dirt, but it came up a little bit on him, just right on the end of the glove. And you can tell right away when you let one go that you're just praying that it can help you out on it. You know it's going to be short, and you hope you get that real short hop that can scoop, but when it comes up like that, it's a more difficult play.
Ball 1 to Alex Gordon. Alex has a 10-game hitting streak after a single in the 2nd inning. Eventually came around to score. He fouled out in the 3rd. Alex has extended his hitting streak. He lost another streak last night. He had an RBI in 5 straight games. Ended up with a double and a walk in last night's game, but no RBI. The Royals record is held by Mike Sweeney back in 1999. He had an RBI in 13 consecutive games, and that actually tied an American League record. 2-1. Two and 2. Remember, you can stay connected to the Royals on Twitter by following @Royals. For breaking news, instant game discussion, and special discounts, there's no better place. Follow @Royals today. Nice crowd tonight on a absolutely beautiful night in Kansas City. 80 degrees, very low humidity at first pitch. As Alex flies to center, Butler back to first. There is 1 out. And now Jeff Francoeur, he put an end to an 0 for 8 with a double leading off the 4th inning.
Right here, the fastball down and in. He did a good job getting his hands down through this ball and just inside the bag. Roberts couldn't make the play there, down in the corner, and he trots into second base with a double.
We hope you enjoyed the past couple of days during Hy-Vee Royals Live. Talking Frenchie with Francoeur interviewing Alex Gordon. And if you missed it during Hy-Vee Royals Live on Sunday, we will replay Talking Frenchie in its entirety. Good slider down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Check that 0-2 on Francoeur.
That's a non-hittable pitch right there.
There they are watching Alex as a member of the University of Nebraska. Very much a formal interview, as you can see, both in attire and in posture, as well as the set. A very expensive set. Francoeur had shorts on. One ball, 2 strikes.
Just talking casually. Yep. It's a casual baseball conversation.
Daniel Hudson, who has 87 strikeouts this year. He has only one so far tonight. Upton in center field makes the catch. Billy Butler bluffing a tag, and there are 2 outs. Here's a little preview of what you will see and hear on Sunday.
About a month into the season, when I was struggling, Dayton had some guy call me that I had no idea who he was, and his name was Jeff Francoeur.
Really?
He called me and gave me a couple pointers. He said he's been through this before, and it was a big thing for him to do that.
Well, apparently Jeff Francoeur does that quite a bit, because it had an impact on Alex, but Francoeur never remembered calling him.
He didn't?
No.
An imposter. An imposter called Alex.
Well, Jeff Francoeur, growing up in Atlanta, knew the pressures of playing for the hometown team, and Alex growing up in Lincoln, which isn't around the corner from Kansas City, but for many that's the hometown team, the Royals in Lincoln. Royals get a break with an error, but can't turn it into a run. Pepsi Max is the official soft drink of the Royals and the Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast booth. You'll never sacrifice taste for 0 calories again with Pepsi Max. New look, same great taste, and 0 calories. Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Willie Mo Pena, followed by Juan Miranda and Gerardo Parra here in the 7th inning. Felipe Paulino allowed runs in each of the first 4 innings, and now 2 straight scoreless innings. 5 strikeouts tonight, no walks. He has hit a batter. The Diamondbacks have hit 2 home runs. Missed a hard slider down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think that's the one pitch that gives Pena a lot of trouble, is that hard slider, and that, you can tell by the way he swings at it, he's geared mainly to the fastball. And so if he gets a fastball out of the plate, he can drive that ball the other way, but the breaking ball, he just doesn't stay on it long enough.
Well, fans, the next time you want to catch a Royals game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Kansas City Royals. And Pena is down on strikes. 6 strikeouts for Felipe Paulino, and 4 of those in the last 3 innings. Get an update on our Sprint You Call It question for tonight. The biggest surprise in baseball. And Royals fans who have been following the Central Division more than any other go with the Cleveland Indians, who began today with a 1-game lead over the Tigers. Neither one of those two teams play today, so Cleveland will continue to lead by 1 game. Right now, Kirk Gibson's Diamondbacks are tied for first in the West with San Francisco as the Giants beat Minnesota this afternoon 2-1. Popped up. Get sees it. It's that time of night when a ball can be lost in the sky. But he brings it down to get Juan Miranda. And now that's 9 in a row retired by Felipe Paulino. 16 down to 8. The 8 greatest moments in Major League Baseball All-Star Game history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote now for your favorite. And tune into the All-Star Game on Fox Tuesday, July 12th at 7 p.m. You will see who won.
Around those 4 teams on top, right? At the most surprising teams that we had in our deal tonight. All those 4 teams really helped baseball. You know, it helps the game that these teams, the Diamondbacks, the Pirates, Indians, the Washington Nationals, those teams really help baseball by the way they're playing right now. It means that, to me, it means that the game is getting healthier.
Fouled away by Parra. Well, Pittsburgh is at 500. Washington a game above 500 after winning today, and then their manager Jim Riggleman resigned. Arizona well above 500, and Cleveland the same. Paulino has retired 10 in a row, and now he has 7 strikeouts. Felipe Paulino tonight. Bruce Chen tomorrow. Coming back from the DL. With more on that, here's Joel Goldberg. Come on, Joel.
Come on, Ryan. Well, Bruce Chen is ready to go. He told us he's excited that the comedians are going to be here. More importantly, he's excited that he's getting back out there. The other day, he was getting ready to go out and take pitchers batting practice, and he told one of the clubhouse attendants, you better get some extra baseballs because, you know, I'm going out there to hit. I might be hitting some over the fences. Today, his teammates were taunting him a little bit, the hitters, yelling, Bruce, as he was struggling to get the ball out of the infield. But he wanted to point out to everybody that since 2006, his batting average is 1,000. He is 3 for 3 since 2006. He said it's not his fault he's only had 3 at-bats, but that projects out to be about 500 for 500. Obviously, Bruce will not be hitting tomorrow. It's in the American League. He will get to do that next week in San Diego when he tries to keep his streak intact. More importantly, tomorrow, he will be on the mound pitching, guys.
Well, in the debate as to which rules are better or more interesting, or however you want to frame it, if you were to ask American League pitchers, I guess all pitchers, both leagues, his trainer is retired for the first time tonight, they love hitting. For whatever reason, pitchers want to hit and position players want to pitch.
I think most pitchers just want to hit in batting practice. I don't think they all want to have that 90-mile-an-hour fastball going by them all the time. But they really get those bats and get ready for batting practice. Most of them kind of anticipate just sacrifice bunting when they get in the game. But I'd like to see that in this, when we play the Diamondbacks here, I like to play National League rules when the National League teams come to American League cities. I think the fans would like to see that, and it gives them an opportunity to see the double switches and see the pinch hitters used and the strategy that goes in the game.
Escobar 1 for 2 with an RBI. Now, the way it is now in the World Series, it's just like interleague play. If you're in an American League ballpark, you play with the DH. In the National League ballpark, the pitcher hits. But I remember watching some replays of the '85 World Series, and the pitchers were hitting here in Kansas City. So was that back? There was a time when they decided that the whole series would be played with one rule or the other. Does that ring a bell for you?
Well, that was the reason I batted fourth in the World Series, because Hal McRae couldn't be used. And that, you're right, the pitchers did hit.
Because your home run was in St. Louis, right?
In St. Louis, yes.
So, but even here, the pitchers were hitting.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know when they changed that to the rules of that particular ballpark, but there was a time when it was predetermined that either the pitchers were going to hit the entire series, no matter where they were, or the DH would hit. Deep left field, not tonight. And Parra makes the catch. That was a good swing, and sounded like he made pretty solid contact. It was in a bit of a crosswind left to right, but not much of a wind. That ball didn't even get to the warning track.
Well, you're right, and this is one of the better swings that he's taken, that you can see where he's getting through the ball a lot better. And you know, it's just such a big ballpark. It just takes so much to get a ball out of here. You got to hit the ball just square. You got to get everything that you have behind it. It just a little bit too much height on that ball by Escobar.
Daniel Hudson trying to go 7 innings. He has allowed 3 runs, one of the runs unearned. And he will go 7 innings for the 8th time in his last 11 starts. (5-3), and now Pinera takes us around the league. Washington wins in walk-off fashion, then their manager resigned as the Nationals go over 500. The Mets take care of the A's San Francisco beating Minnesota. So the Giants now in a first-place tie with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're a half game back. That was Tim Lincecum over Brian Dunsing. So Minnesota's lost 2 in a row after winning 8 straight. One hop to Mike Moustakas. Ryan Roberts, who has led off all 4 times he's come to the plate tonight, is 2 for 4 with that ground out, and that's 11 in a row retired by Felipe Paulino. And he still hasn't thrown 100 pitches yet. 5 of his last 8 outs have been a strikeout. He gave up runs in each of the first 4 innings. And now 11 up and 11 down. Curveball is low to Kelly Johnson.
It's almost like you got a second win in the 6th inning. His fastball got a lot crisper. His breaking ball got a lot crisper, and he just kind of walked through those 2 innings.
One ball, 2 strikes. So the pitch count getting closer to 100, and now Everett Tiford and Greg Holland are warming up behind Alex Gordon out in left field. Paulino's season high was 6 2/3 innings. Off the right field line, off the tarp, and a nice play by the ball boy.
He knew exactly where to be. He thought you get a little smile out of him after making a great play like that.
Still 2-2. Paulino's career high for innings is 8, and he did that 3 times last year when he was a starter for the Astros. And as you know, he was traded to Colorado during the offseason, and the Rockies decided to make him a late inning reliever. That didn't work out for Paulino or Colorado. Only able to go with his 2 best pitches as a late inning reliever, and as a starter able to use all 4. That ball's hit very hard, but right to Getz. So Paulino has knocked down 12 in a row.
Well, he's trying to throw strikes, and you throw strikes, you get your defense involved, and they're ready for that line drive. That's one you don't have to move very far, and it's right to you. Not a lot of effort in that one at all.
So Paulino trying to make it 8 innings, trying to make it 4 scoreless innings in a row. That after giving up 5 runs, 8 hits in his first 4 innings. Upton hit by a pitch in the first inning. Came around to score as the Diamondbacks got 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. None since.
Yeah, very good breaking ball. Nice tight spin to it. Great location.
Two balls, 1 strike. Paulino trying to win for the first time in over a year. He's going to need some help from the offense. He's gone 32 consecutive appearances, either out of the bullpen or as a starter without a win. He beat the Chicago Cubs back on June the 4th last year. Two balls, 2 strikes on Justin Upton. Hard slider strikes him out. That's 8 strikeouts for Paulino. That is a season high, and he goes 8 innings.
5-3 after the game on Boulevard Royals Live. We will be talking about that man as Jeff Montgomery breaks down the night of Felipe Paulino as he turns things around to go 8 innings against Arizona. The offense continues to find some solutions at the plate. We'll talk about that. Hear from Ned Yost, player reaction, and we'll take your questions at 432-432 space keyword live. Give us your name, where you're from, and we'll have that and much more coming up, Ryan, on Boulevard Royals Live.
All right, thank you, Joel. So Felipe Paulino, in his first 4 innings, gave up 5 runs and then 4 straight scoreless innings, retired 13 in a row. And now a Chevy call to the bullpen for Arizona. It's Aaron Heilman. He pitched the 9th on Tuesday in a 7-2 game, faced 3 and retired 3. So 4-0 out of the bullpen, but a very high earned run average, 6.75. Roberts runs to the dugout suite, and it's off the roof, 0-2. Daniel Hudson, 6 outs away on defense from winning his 9th of the year. That would be a new career high. Hudson gave up 3 runs in 7 innings. 1 run was unearned. He retired 10 of the last 11. One and 2. Melky has grounded out 3 times tonight. Eric Hosmer after him, and then Billy Butler.
The Diamondbacks have some good end of the rotation guys. I mean, they've got good arms. They all have good size and good movement on their fastballs, and they straighten things out. You can see them going the whole way right there in the race. They have big arms. Charles Nagy, he probably didn't show him his sinker, but he showed him a lot. He showed him the benefit of having that good 2-seamer there.
Stephen Drew right at the bag. So Melky is 0 for 4 at the plate, but on defense, he's responsible for tonight's Chevrolet play of the game.
Chris Young hits this ball here, Ryan, and just makes a great play behind this fly ball. Just gets up there, gets behind it, makes an all-the-way in the air throw. The trainer who does a great job of not only snagging this throw down low to the ground, but making a great tag on Johnson.
Eric Hosmer 0 for 3. 1 ball, 1 strike against Aaron Heilman, who is huge. Not the same size as Eric Hosmer. Heilman at 6'5", 230 pounds. This is his first year with Arizona, last year with the Cubs, and before that spent 6 years with the Mets. Drafted out of Notre Dame by the Mets. First round pick in 2001. Three balls, 1 strike. Broken bat, may not have been a strike. And going to the bag, Miranda to get Eric Hosmer, who is 0 for 4. Remember, you can secure your seat to the 2012 All-Star Game with season tickets. And when you buy 2 season tickets, you get 2 free, starting at just $7 per game. For details or to order those tickets, call 816-504-4040 or visit Royals.com. Billy Butler 1 for 3 with a 3rd inning single. Heilman grew up in Indiana and was a Cubs fan, so last year was A dream come true for him playing for the Cubs. We'll see them tomorrow for a 3-game series. Pitched in 70 games for the Cubs last season. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Make that 2 seasons ago. 70 games for the Cubs in 09. And pitched in 70 games for Arizona last year. He has pitched in as many as 81 games in a season. 81 for the Mets in 07. 2-2. 81, 78, 70, and 70. That's 4 consecutive seasons for Aaron Heilman.
That's been very durable right there. I mean, you're going out and you get your holes to pick up too, because you got a lot of holes in there. And I think that's one of the things that you can benefit from. I mean, a big reliever is that you got a lot of stamina. You got a big arm, big slaughter.
Interesting story. When he was a sophomore at Notre Dame, he pitched 3 innings out of the bullpen. Then he moved to first base for an inning. Then he pitched the 9th. And he got the win and the save in 1 game.
That's pretty good.
Tonight, he'll settle for a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th as Arizona leads 5-3. With 107 pitches, Felipe Paulino will pitch into the 9th. And his last 4 innings worthy of a Miller Lite taste greatness moment.
But outstanding, Ryan. He just starts with Upton strikeout there. Comes right back with Johnson on a strikeout. I mean, he just does a great job just introducing his fastball and his slot.
He has retired 13 in a row. 6 of the last 10 outs have been by way of a strikeout. He has tied his career high with 8 innings pitched. His career high for strikeouts is 11. And lined into center field, Stephen Drew opens the inning with a base hit. The Royals have been working in the bullpen the past 2 innings. And Ned Yost is going to go to the phone rather than go to the mound. So just checking with the bullpen and see where Tiford and Holland are. And Ned's going to stick with Paulino. So that snaps the string. Paulino had retired 13 straight. That's the first base runner for the Diamondbacks since the 4th inning. And really, it's their first base runner since the 3rd, because their runner in the 4th, Juan Miranda, hit a home run. So Paulino hasn't worked out of the stretch since the 3rd inning. And as we pointed out before, and we'll do it again, always want to be on alert when a pitcher has been out of the windup for several innings in a row and then has to go to the stretch.
Well, Paulino's really being stressed out tonight. I mean, he goes maybe 4 or 5 pitches more and more if he gets to that part of the game. But tonight he was real good in keeping his pitch count down going into the 9th inning.
Still throwing 96 miles an hour. Chris Young began the scoring for Arizona with a 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run single in the first inning. A little bit outside. And at least according to home plate umpire Corey Blazer, who's had a good zone tonight. There really hasn't been any complaining on either side. Three and one.
Yeah, breaking ball backed up on him a little bit there. Didn't quite get on top of it.
He went 3 balls, 2 strikes.
But when that breaking ball is real tight like that, that's got to look like a fastball coming out of his hand. When you start getting check swings on hard slotters like that, that's the impression that you give a hitter. It's a fastball down, and when he commits, he realizes the ball's going away, and you got your check swing strike.
Stephen Drew has only 4 stolen bases. To this point, the Diamondbacks have not stolen a base in this series. Now Drew runs, and that is ball 4. So a single, now a walk. And Ned Yost to the stairs, onto the field, and will point to the bullpen. That is the first walk given up by Felipe Paulino, and it doesn't come until the second batter in the 9th inning. So a Chevy call to the bullpen. It's Everett Teaford to face Miguel Montero when we come back. The game to the 9th inning. He retired 13 in a row between the 4th and the 8th. But he gave up 5 runs, and the Royals are down by 2. Paulino leaves 2 base runners behind for Everett Teaford, who is making his 14th appearance. He has stranded all the inherited runners he has had this year. He pitched on Tuesday and gave up a 2-run home run to Chris Young. Young just walked, so he's at first. Stephen Drew singled. He's at second. And Teaford will get left-hand hitting Miguel Montero.
I think the pitch to Young was a fastball he left up out over the plate, and it's got got it in a good zone for him. But right now he gets a good ground ball here.
Tough hop for Getz, and it's a double play. A hop that almost took his cap off, but he stayed with it. So one pitch and 2 outs for Tiefert. And out of the dugout comes Ned Yost.
It was really nice to see him just stay with that bad hop, and it didn't take him out of rhythm at all. And he gets his feet in good shape, and he's got his body angled, and he does a great job just staying right with that. A lot of guys will see that hop and they panic a little bit, but he did a great job just staying right with it.
Third double play for the Royals tonight, so Tiefert gave Ned Yost more than he was hoping for. He got 2 outs against 1 batter. And now Greg Holland to face Willie Mo Pena. At first and second and nobody out. He makes 1 pitch and gets a double play and hands the ball off to Greg Holland, who will get Willie Mo Pena with a runner at third and 2 outs. And Greg Holland with a 1.17 ERA in 11 appearances, allowing just a 164 opponent's batting average. 20 strikeouts in 15 1/3 innings.
That's really impressive. He got to a great start when he came back up from AAA and just had one little rough spot, but just bounced back from that.
Willie Mo Pena singled in the 2nd inning, 1 for 3. He has struck out twice, and Holland's curveball is outside. In game 1 on Tuesday, Pena, in his 2nd at bat in the big league since 2008, hit a line drive home run into the water in center field. 1-1.
That's a very good pitch for Pena right there. He hasn't shown he can hit the breaking ball, so it's one of those things you take your fastball and use your fastball for show, and then you come back with your breaking ball as a chase pitch.
Slider down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
They're doing a good job right here. It's just staying away and staying down. And Holland's on 2 excellent breaking balls back to back to Willie Mo Pena.
High heat. 97. 2-2. In the bottom of the 9th, it's Alex Gordon, Jeff Francoeur, and Mike Moustakas. Struck him out. Got him with a slider down and away. So coming up, Alex Gordon 1 for 3 with a 10-game hitting streak. Jeff Francoeur 1 for 3 with a double, and Mike Moustakas is 1 for 3. Greg Holland getting the final out of the 9th inning with a strikeout. Royals pitchers tonight have struck out 9 Diamondbacks. They strike out quite a bit. They've also tied the Brewers for the most home runs hit this year with 2 tonight. So a 5-3 lead to the bottom of the 9th. And J.J. Putz, who saved the game last night, is 19th of the year. He comes on to get Alex Gordon, Jeff Francoeur, and Mike Moustakas. The Arizona Diamondbacks are trying to sweep an interleague series on the road for the first time in 4 years. They are 8-3 here at Kauffman Stadium. Last night, J.J. Putz got himself and the Diamondbacks into some hot water, but he was able to get Eric Hosmer to pop out to short. With the tying run at third base, the winning run running, Gerard Dyson running from first to second on an attempted steal when Hosmer popped out.
Hosmer had a great pitch to hit too, Ryan. He just missed it just by a little bit, and all it takes is just a little miss to pop the ball up, because the hitting surface between the bat and the ball is probably the first section of your fingernail. And so, I mean, it's just a real small area between being a solid base hit and popping that ball up.
Center field, and playable for Chris Young. So Alex is 1 for 4, and there's one down in the 9th inning. Royals have seen quite a bit of J.J. Putz, and it hasn't been very fun. Last year, Putz pitched in 7 games against the Royals, and they only scored 1 run against him. And in 21 career games, his ERA is 1.16.
He just comes right after you with that good fastball that he has, and when he gets ahead, he's got that good split finger that he can use for a strikeout pitch. Also, he's got really 2 strikeout weapons he can use against the hitter.
Jeff Francoeur doubled and scored in the 4th inning. That was the last Royals run. The Royals don't have a hit since the 4th. They have only 1 base runner since the 4th. No balls, 2 strikes. Daniel Hudson gave up 2 earned runs in 7 innings. So the Diamondbacks starters in this series pitched 20 innings and gave up 5 earned runs. Joe Saunders, Ian Kennedy, and Daniel Hudson. Aaron Heilman pitched the scoreless 8th, and now Putz in the 9th. Got the corner. Francoeur talks it over with Corey Blazer, and there are 2 down.
When you take a good look at this pitch here, he hasn't gone to split finger yet. He's just staying mainly with his fastball on the outer half, and Francoeur gave up on it, and it's probably a pitch he couldn't have done much with anyway with that location.
We've seen some big arms tonight, but only 3 strikeouts. Wow. Daniel Hudson, who has struck out 87 this year, only one of those 87 tonight. Heilman struck out 1 in the 8th, and now Putz in the 9th. First at bat for Mike Moustakas against J.J. Putz. And the Royals are down to their last strike. Last night, with 2 outs and nobody on, Chris Getz, in a 1-run game, reached with an infield single. He stole second. He stole third. Melky Cabrera walked. Dyson ran for him. And then Putz got the pop out from Hosmer. And Montero wants the pitch high, but it's way inside.
Yeah, kind of throw that pitch up and just try to take advantage of the aggressiveness of a young hitter. And as time goes on, you know, both Hosmer and Moustakas both are going to learn how to lay off of that pitch and get better pitches to hit down in the zone. So just narrow the zone down just a little bit more with experience.
Hit to left field. Parra is there. And the Arizona Diamondbacks come into Kansas City and sweep the Royals in 3 games. And they remain in first place in the National League West. 5-3 Diamondbacks. We'll be right back.